It's Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Even I know this track. Even I know this track.
You should know it, man.
Even me. Although I can pass every ESPN drug test ever given to me. Never gone near the chronic. That's just, okay? Even I can come up with this.
Don't demonize it, Zubin. Don't demonize it.
I'm not. More states are making it legal. I mean, this is going back early 90s.
You don't smoke, Zubin?
No, I don't smoke. Only after the show, after a bad one. Which means,
might need it after a bad
3
one.
times a week.
It'll help you, Zubin. It'll help.
Hey, man, I had this conversation many years ago Jay. So I have an older daughter, obviously, through my first marriage. And my daughter, this was years ago. I'm talking 15, maybe 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. She came to me, and she wanted to get into the cannabis business. Mm-hmm. And I went, ape, you know what? And she said, Dad, what's the difference between drinking them grapes that you drink every night and the trees growing and us doing what we do? And I was like, that's really not. And then over time, she got me to come around. It's like, all right, man, what's the difference? People smoke cigarettes, and they drink grapes. I mean, that's, what's the difference?
One's legalized and the government makes money off it. The other isn't.
Yeah, I'm all in with it now. Go ahead, man. Do your deal.
Yeah, and I would just say for many people, it is medicinal. There is actually real usage for it. No reason to whine.
I love you, though.
I'm just saying. I got to bring it around.
From a guy who's had 13 surgeries, Zubin, yes, it is medicinal.
But wait, I love the fact that we got to make it medical opposed to recreational. It is what it is.
No.
It can be both.
If you're 70 and you're taking it.
Man, look, man. I share this with everybody all the time. My mom smoked marijuana till she passed away. For years, her whole life. All right, fine. Mom was 60. Mom was 68, still smoking, man. And we're talking about 10 years ago. Okay.
No, attitudes are different, like everything.
Yeah.
Like everything. But please, can you get a prescription? Get a prescription.
Zubin, do you put the wave cap on?
Don't go to CVS. I don't think you're going to have a pharmacist prescribe that for you at CVS.
At some point, I'm sure you will. Because it's
Zubin, set the tone. Do you put the wave cap on when you enjoy it? Do you put the wave cap on?
Zubin does it. Boy, stop. Move on.
I'm just asking. I'm trying to get a vibe.
Zubin already told you he doesn't work. Snoop is leave it up to Snoop.
Yes. I will drink a Corona. Thank you, Snoop. Okay, so as Stephen A. might say, let's get off the weed and let's get back on to the quarterback discussion. Okay, these are just quotes. Okay, I'm not making things up. Stephen A. certainly has said that. All right,
some quarterbacks might need to get off the. Never mind. Go ahead.
January 5th. These are 2 Cowboys legends I want to hear from back to back and try to salvage this segment in some way humanly possible. Probably already too late. This is Jerry Jones, Cowboys owner, back on January 5th, essentially saying what nobody ever does. I'm going to the negotiating table with my quarterback, and I've already lost.
I don't know how you could have any more leverage. His evolving into an NFL quarterback has been nothing short of a perfect pitcher. And he has great ability in my mind to win games. And so he has all the things as substantiated by what we've offered Dak. You wouldn't be offering Dak what's been offered him in the past had you not thought he was very special. The issue is how do you come together, and we've got to get it together.
And last thing I would say, Jerry Jones has given a ton of money to Troy Aikman. Troy, of course, the legendary quarterback, weighing in, saying to the Dallas Morning News, my guess is if he's playing on the franchise tag, that will be the last we see of Dak Prescott. Remember, last year he played on the tag to the tune of $31.4 million.
Yeah, and so if you heard right there what Jerry said he has all the leverage based on what we've already offered him. He's not saying he has all the leverage so he could come back in and we're going to give him $60 million a year. That's not what he's saying. He's saying we already offered the man everything based on the way he's played, and that was the leverage that he had. Now, whether or not they're willing to tag him at a high number again this year, and he plays under that $38 million, and he plays under that tag, they can tag him again. It just will be higher.
Yes,
it'll be higher to be 50-something million, and maybe he parlays that in 2-3 straight tags.
I don't understand why the Cowboys are playing games here.
But are they playing games?
But Key, if it's a difference between a 5th year or 1 year or less, give this man his money. How many other? The only other quarterback I can see replacing him is Deshaun Watson. But I put them in the same group to a degree. I mean, look, I think Deshaun Watson is a top 4 quarterback in the league. I think Dak is right on the outside cusp of that. But all I'm saying is, I don't understand why is it coming down to the wire if you're fighting over.
You're screaming in my ear, and my headset's too high.
It's probably your headset. But why is it coming down to the wire on 1 year? Why is that such a differentiator?
Because Dak Prescott, based on the TV deal expiring at a time where he could go back in and not have to rely on it. Let's just say it is 5 years. Let's just use that mark, right? If Dak is not good in 3 years, guess what they're going to do? They're going to cut him. So it does not matter. Then when you think about it, if he's really good, guess what they're going to do? They're going to do much like Green Bay is thinking about doing right now with Aaron Rodgers, is bringing that money forward, extending him out. So if he's really good, like we all anticipate and think he will be, then he'll get the big money again.
But when if they choose not to extend him out? When if they choose to let him? I mean, look, if you're an agent, you're looking at this from the other side too. Like,
yeah, but
hey, I'm taking a 4 year so they can extend me year 3, as opposed to taking a 5 year and then extending me year 4 or 5.
No, they can extend him in year 3 too, though. All you got to do is if you doing what you're supposed to do, like we think you're going to do, that number is going to be so high on the back end in year 4 and 5 from a cap standpoint. And if you're good, Jay, they got to come see you, because otherwise you're going to blow up the cap. If your cap number is $60 million in year 4, there's no way they can carry that.
Let me ask you this, Key. If I'm Dak, I'm trying to get as much damn money as possible. I just played on a 1 year contract, essentially, where I had to prove myself. I got messed up.
You want as much guaranteed money. You want your contract to be heavily front loaded on the guarantee side. There's no question about it.
So if you're Dak, what puts you in that best position to get that?
Well, it's all about negotiating the upfront money. What am I getting in my first 3 years? Are you offering me $150 million with $130 million of it due in the first 3 years, with $100 of it due in the first 24 months? I'm just throwing numbers out there, but that's a lot of money for an owner to write a check to a player in the first 24 months to give him $100+ million in 24 months.
Okay,
that's a sweet deal.
All right, let me just brass tax it, because I know you love that term. I also am not on social media. 2 things Key hates when I say it, so I said them both. Okay, here's the deal. This is real quick, which is another thing I know somebody else hates. I'm getting all the cliches. All right, here we go. Dak Prescott, 4th round pick, 135th overall pick. He hasn't made a ton of money. Tell me if these players are better than Dak Prescott, and this is exactly what his agent is thinking right now. Would you rather have Dak Prescott or Jimmy Garoppolo?
Dak.
Okay. Garoppolo signed a $137 million contract. Would you rather have Kirk Cousins or Dak Prescott?
Dak.
Kirk once had an $84 million guaranteed every penny, then signed for $66 million and got $61 guaranteed. Would you rather have Dak or Carson Wentz?
Dak.
Carson Wentz signed for $128 million. That's exactly why Dak Prescott is waiting out here.
Exactly.
These guys are all super inferior to Dak Prescott. And yes, some of these guys were drafted before Dak. Some of these guys were drafted in the same year. Dak wants his money because guys that are far inferior, these are just 3 examples, have gotten paid. And this dude is waiting. That's what's happening.
And the great thing, I know we got to go to break, but what I would say about all of those versus Dak did get offered a lot of money similar to those contracts.
Correct.
He did get paid, but he decided that I'm going to wait and push the envelope.
Yep.
So it's not like the Cowboys and Jerry Jones didn't say, here's a bunch of money. I'm with Dak. Get as much as you can and get it early and often, as much as you can.
No doubt. But if he feels he's worth more and he's better than all these guys,
there's nothing wrong with it.
No doubt.
Way to scream, Evan. Break.
We have to go to break. Keyshawn J. Will Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance. All guests on the Goodyear Hotline. Probably the most important thing that was said in the segment. So the check goes through. On the way. QB or not QB?
Ooh.
That is the question. Facing half the NFL. So how many teams need to move on from their signal caller? We'll go round and round, starting with football's worst division, which probably needs some QB change, after Jay has this from 1-800-Flowers.
Key, play that Jodeci. Here we go. Okay. Don't miss the most romantic day of the year. Head to 1-800-Flowers.com today. That's right. Right now, 1-800-Flowers has a last-minute offer for our listeners. You hear that voice? Nice and soft. Get 24 multicolored roses for $34.99 or upgrade to 24 red roses for only $10 more. Bouquet